YouTube. How are you now? Back with another video. This is going to be a kind of a fun one for me because it is a video on my first EDC knife, which is right here, the Victorinox Pioneer. So get ready for a little story, get your refreshments ready, and yeah, I'll tell you how my EDC journey began, I guess. I got this knife in 1998. And what's really cool about this is back then, Victorinox was actually stamping the year on the blade. If you guys can see that, 1998, or just the 98 I suppose, but signifying 1998, the year of production for this knife. Interestingly enough, I found this knife in 1998. I was living away from home for the first time. I moved out of the house. I was young. I was living on the other side of the country in British Columbia. Just living like a wild child. Living like a wild animal at times, to be honest. But I was out there with a couple friends to basically snowboard every day. This was in Whistler, British Columbia. My friends and I moved out there to work jobs and snowboard, one of the best resorts in the world. So that's what we did every day. We didn't have much. We had a really crappy little apartment that we shared. Crappy little jobs, but we were happy. We were snowboarding every single day, like I said, at one of the best resorts in the world, Whistler Blackcomb. Yeah, just a great place to be in 1998. I was actually headed to work one day that year, and something on the street caught my eye, just the glimmer of metal and sunlight. I walked over, and it was this knife sitting there in the middle of the street. Some scuffs here on the aluminum handles. It almost looks like maybe got, I don't know, run over by a car perhaps after it was dropped. Other than these scuffs, it's no worse for wear, and functions really great. So that was interesting. I picked it up, I put it in my pocket, and this became my EDC knife. Before I even knew what EDC was, I don't believe anyone had coined the term everyday carry yet in 1998. You know, whoever carried a knife in those days, it was simply just their pocket knife and part of their everyday carry by default. I used this screwdriver a lot actually because it would fit my bindings, the screws in my snowboard bindings perfectly. I could get that in there and give it some torque because it has this half stop, and yeah, just torque my bindings tight whenever they would loosen up on the hills. Just to go through the tools here, cap lifter and screwdriver, small screwdriver and can opener, the main blade. It's good size. They're really sturdy and kind of thick and big on these. I think they're 91 millimeter Swiss Armies. I really do like the blade shape on these. Good shape and a good size. The last tool is the awl or the punch. You can drill into wood or leather or plastic. Drywall. So that was 1998 when I was a young wild child and getting an EDC without really even knowing it. Since then, I've added a couple of the Victorinox Pioneers to my collection. This one's since kind of been retired for sentimental reasons. So, doesn't get carried too often. This is the one that I do carry. It looks black, but I believe this is the Swiss Bianco edition, which is dark gray or gunmetal gray or something like that. It's all the same tools. They no longer put the year on the blade, unfortunately. I like that kind of just a handy way to keep track of the knife in your collection. You know, a lot of knives do put the year in some way, in some sort of stamping system on the blade stamps, whether it's the actual year or some symbols to signify the year. Really do appreciate when companies do that, just for the collectors in us who find it handy to help keep track of their knives. But Victorinox no longer does that, as far as I know. This is just a clip that I've added after the fact, just a cheap clip. I'm not sure where I got it, but kind of handy to just drop in and clip on the pocket. So this guy's retired. This is my current user. I do use it quite a bit. It's a really convenient knife to carry and just have some really basic tools on you. Here's another one that is largely just for the collection, but does get carried from time to time. This is a Swiss Bianco collaboration with Victorinox. It is the Pioneer Rancher. So same tool set as these guys, with the exception of the Hawksbill blade, which I really like. Great for getting into a package, just kind of hook into that tape and pull along. Super thin, super sharp. I wish these Ranchers were more widely available. I would definitely get a backup for this one, and probably something I would use more often, but I tend to not carry this one because I like it a lot, and kind of a silly reason not to. That's the collector in us, though. It's something we tuck away, use once in a while, but this one here has been a great one for me and has seen lots of use. So it was pretty cool anyway, just to find this one that had the year on it, like I said, and an important year for me, being out of the house for the first time and kind of making my way on my own. It's really cool to have this knife to commemorate that, and I was able to, get another one that I can use and beat up and lose. In fact, I have had other ones like this that I have lost, whether I've lost them or they've been stolen on a couple occasions. So this is I've probably owned maybe 5 or 6 of these in the past, and this is the current 3 that I have now. So guys, just to look at my first real knife, I'll show you a video of the knife I got after this one, which was nearly 10 years later. So I did keep this for quite some time. Then a knife came into my life as a gift, and that kind of opened the door and my mind to the modern day EDC world and tactical knives and locking knives and all that stuff. I'll make a video about that knife next. It's the Emerson CQC 10, I believe. So look for that video. It'll be another kind of story time video, just explaining what got me into the next phase of knife collecting and EDC. But this is really the one that I truly carried every day, just for no reason other than having found it and just the convenience of having a knife with these tools in your pocket. And it basically got me into always carrying a knife and never wanting to be without a knife, which led to me getting into the the modern day EDC knife collecting scene. So you'll see a lot more videos from me about that. This is kind of the one that started it all, so to say. Alright guys, so I'll catch you in the next video.